"Kiss him," they whispered, laughing, daring her to touch the one man everyone else feared. She smiled, leaned in, and pressed her lips to his cheek, not knowing she had just crossed the most dangerous line in the room. She felt the dare land on her like a spark in dry air. "Kiss him." The words circled the table, half joke, half challenge, carried by nervous laughter and the smell of spilled drinks. Across the bar, the man sat alone, untouched by noise, untouched by time, untouched by fear. Everyone knew him. No one spoke to him except her. The bar was loud, crowded, alive with careless joy. Glasses clinked, music thumped, low and heavy. People shouted to be heard, but around him there was a pocket of silence, as if the room itself had learned to keep its distance. He did not look ruthless in the way movies taught people to expect. No scars on his face, no raised voice, no wild movements. He wore dark clothes, simple and neat. His hair was cut short, his posture relaxed, almost bored. His eyes, though, were something else, still sharp, watching everything without seeming to look at anything at all. The people at her table laughed again, louder this time. Someone nudged her shoulder. "Come on, just a kiss. You're brave, right?" Her name was Hana. She had learned early in life that fear often bowed to confidence. She had grown up proving herself, stepping forward when others stepped back. Tonight was supposed to be simple, a celebration, a break from long days and heavy thoughts. She looked at the man again. He had not noticed the dare, or maybe he had, and simply did not care. Hana stood up. The laughter stumbled into silence behind her. Someone whispered that she should sit down. Someone else held up a phone, ready to capture the moment. Dares were meant to be harmless, embarrassing at worst. No one imagined consequence that as she walked. She felt the shift. Conversations lowered. Eyes followed. The air thickened, like a storm pulling itself together. She smelled smoke, sweet and bitter, drifting from somewhere behind the bar. Her heart beat faster, but she kept her pace steady. Up close, the man was taller than she expected, broader. He smelled faintly of clean soap and old wood. He did not look up as she stopped beside him. For a second, doubt flickered. She could still turn back, laugh it off. Instead, she leaned down and kissed. His cheek. It was soft, quick, innocent. The room froze. The man finally looked at her. His gaze was calm, unreadable, but something moved behind his eyes, like a door opening to a room no one else had ever entered. He did not flinch. He did not pull away. He did not smile. He studied her face, her breath, the slight tremble she could not fully hide. Then he spoke, his voice low, steady, almost gentle. That was brave. The word was not a compliment. It was an observation. Hana felt heat rush to her face. She smiled awkwardly, murmured an apology, and stepped back. The moment cracked. A noise rushed in again, shaky laughter filling the space people did not know how to hold. She returned to her table, heart racing. Her friends burst into whispers. "Did you see his face? Are you crazy? I thought he was going to, but nothing happened." The man turned back to his drink. The bar breathed again. Hana laughed it off, though her hands shook as she lifted her glass. She did not know that the man she kissed was named Kong Min-J. She did not know that people did not avoid him because he was rude or loud, but because he ruled quietly, because his word could close doors, open graves, and end careers. Without ever raising his voice, he had built his power the way mountains form, slowly, silently, with pressure no one noticed until it was too late. Min-J had not come to the bar for pleasure. He came because it was neutral ground, a place to watch, to listen, to let rumors float toward him like leaves on water. He had grown up learning restraint, learning that cruelty was not loud, but precise. That fear worked best when it did not announce itself. When Hana kissed him, it surprised him, not because of the act, but because of her lack of fear, or perhaps her ignorance of it. He watched her now, laughing too loudly, pretending her pulse was not still racing. He had seen many people like her, bold, bright, unaware of the shadows. They danced near. Hours passed. The crowd shifted. Some people left. Others grew careless. Hana excused herself and headed toward the bar, weaving through boaties, her confidence returning. She did not see the men who straightened when she passed, did not notice the way their eyes followed Minja's smallest movements, did not understand the quiet signals exchanged without words. She ordered water, suddenly thirsty, the alcohol catching up with her. As she waited, a voice spoke beside her. "You don't usually kiss strangers like that." She turned. Min-jae stood there now, close enough that she could see the faint scar near his jaw, thin and pale. She swallowed. I was dared. He nodded once. I know. Something in his tone made her straighten. Not fear, awareness she felt, for the first time, that she had stepped into a story she did not understand. They spoke. Light words at first. Where are you from? Do you come here often? Normal questions, asked in an abnormal calm. Min-jae listened more than he spoke. When he did speak, his words were careful, chosen. Hana felt drawn in despite herself. He did not flirt. He did not boast. He asked about her work, her family, her dreams, and remembered her answers. The bar faded around them. At her table, her friends watched, unease, replacing excitement. One of them whispered a name she had overheard before. Korean whispers, warnings disguised as jokes. Boss, leader, dangerous. The truth moved toward Hana slowly, like a tide she could not yet see. When Min-jae excused himself, one of the bartenders leaned in close to Hana and spoke under his breath. You should go home now. She laughed nervously. Why? The bartender did not smile. That man is not someone you play games with. She looked back. Min-jae stood with two men now, their heads inclined toward him, their bodies angled protectively. The room bent subtly around them. Her chest tightened. She gathered her things and headed for the door. The night air cooled against her skin as she stepped outside. Relief washed over her, mixed with embarrassment. She told herself she had imagined the tension. A black car waited at the curb. The door opened. Min-jae stepped out, blocking her path, not threatening, not smiling, simply present. I wanted to make sure you got home safely, he said. Every instinct told her to run. Every other instinct told her to stay calm. She nodded slowly. The ride was quiet. The city lights passed like distant stars. Min-jae did not touch her, did not raise his voice. He spoke of small things, food, music, the weather. But Hana felt the weight of truth pressing in. Before her building, he stopped the car. He turned to her. You kissed me without knowing who I am, he said. That is rare. She met his eyes. I'm sorry if I crossed a line. He studied her, then shook his head. No, you reminded me of something I had forgotten. He did not explain as she stepped out. He spoke one last time. Be careful who dares you to do things. Not everyone survives curiosity. The car drove away. Days later, Hana learned the truth. Not from news, not from headlines, from quiet conversations that stopped when she entered the room, from warnings disguised as concern. She realized how close she had come to something irreversible. Min-jae never contacted her again, but sometimes, when she walked past that bar, she felt the echo of that moment, the stillness, the eyes that saw everything, and she understood a lesson. Few learn gently, that power does not always shout, that danger does not always look angry, and that sometimes a single innocent act can brush against a world you were never meant to touch. If this story held you, share where you're watching from and what you would have done in her place. Subscribe for more cinematic stories that reveal the hidden sides of courage, curiosity, and consequence.